little, bit by bit, the Florida Marlins are righting the ship. And guess what? The bats are back. From Big Mike to Hanley, Cabby, and Lomo, the Marlins have won 7 of their last 10. The question is, can they keep it going for Captain Jack? Marlins try to put the Astros in orbit next. It is a Super Saturday in South Florida, in Miami tonight. The Marlins and the Astros ready to go, and the Fish trying to make it 3 in a row against this ball club. The Marlins all of a sudden have won 7 of their last 10. Can they keep it going? Can they keep the good times moving? Well, we'll find out. Brett Myers, an old familiar foe for Ricky Nolasco, as 2 right-handers are on the mound. And look what we have in the booth tonight. Jeff Conine joins us tonight. Let's start about the win streak right now. The Marlins on a roll right now, Tommy Hutton.
Yeah, it's good to see, and I think a lot of it's mental. All of a sudden, they're out of that mental mode where how are we going to lose this game? Now they're trying to figure out how are we going to win this game.
And Niner, I think it all coincides with the offense coming back.
Well, it's definitely offensive. You got a perfect storm here. You got 3.23 average over the last 3 games in their 3-game winning streak, and an under 3 ERA. So when you get those things coupled together, it equals wins.
All right, the offense, if you want to add it up, is speed and power. And the Marlins have done a little bit of both over this stretch. Tommy, you get the speed portion of the telecast.
And I like that perfect storm analogy. Here we've got the speed. We'll start with that. Bonifacio, how about in the month of July? Emilio Bonifacio not only has had his first child, he has a .469 on-base percentage. Always has the smile, always getting on base. He has really been an igniter.
Now, Niner, you get the power portion.
That's my favorite part. Mike Stanton, of course, so far in this homestand, 6 hits, 2 singles, a couple of homers, a triple, and a game changer. He won the game the other night with a walk-off home run, and this guy in the middle of the lineup creates fear. And that fear, not only with him in the lineup, but it creates fear with people in front of him and behind him.
And, of course, to sum it all up, I'll just show you Emilio Bonifacio, the speed on the left, Mike Stanton, the power on the right. Now the pitching portion of our telecast. You got right-handers. Both are bulldog kind of guys. Both can spin it, throw a good breaking ball. Our Coventry Healthcare of Florida pitching matchup. Tommy, I'll let you go with Brett Myers.
I'll go with Myers, 18 start, 25 career starts against the Marlins, most against any team. Little bit of a disappointment this year with that 3-8 record. A guy that could be out there on the trade market.
And Niner, Ricky Nolasco's last 3 starts, he's been very solid.
Very solid. He had a little blip in the radar the couple starts before that, but very similar pitchers. And I want those guys out on the mound for me because they're going to battle through and they're going to give you whatever they've got.
We are going to give you whatever we've got. Hey, Emilio Bonifacio's back, and he's got some company, and he's in the lineup leading off as the Marlins take on the Astros. Baby, nicely done. Marlins getting set to take on the Houston Astros. Let's go out to left field and Craig Minervini. Craig?
All right, thank you very much, Rich. And the Marlins are very happy to have Emilio Bonifacio back. They weren't sure, based on when his wife, Carolina, was going to give birth, as to whether he would be here tonight. It turned out that his new baby boy arrived just before 2 o'clock this afternoon, and Bonnie got here just probably as the team took the field for their pregame preps, maybe around 4:30, so at least that's when we saw him out on the field. Emil Andres, 8.8 pounds, 19.5 inches, born today to the proud parents, Emilio and Carolina Bonifacio. But skipper Jack McKean noted one thing was missing.
You know, we got the report that his wife had the baby and then he might not be here. And then all of a sudden someone said, well, he's coming. And then someone said he was here, but I was looking for him, but he must be hiding. I was hoping he'd bring some cigars.
Supposed to bring a cigar, right?
He should, yeah. I mean, I should have told him about the protocol here.
Now, a few minutes after that, Bonifacio was walking by. Jack hadn't seen him, and he said, Emilio, come on over. And he told him the cigar story and also said, congratulations, and you're doing a great job. And he certainly is. He really has been a spark plug, especially under Jack McKean. He's running. He looks like a natural base stealer these days. He's bunting and getting on. Eduardo Perez been happy with the way he's been getting the bunts down, and give the Marlins a lot of credit, working very hard with him for that, getting the bunt game and the speed game all together, including some impressive line drives. All adds up to a 10-game hitting streak, and Joe Espada's done a good job on the bunts as well with Emilio. All right, we're set for baseball. Rich, Tommy, and Jeff will have the call for Game 3.
On Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by Toyota, moving forward, by AT&T, by Checkers, Little Place, Big Taste, and by All Year Cooling, today's comfort, yesterday's prices. Hot, muggy, sticky in Miami tonight. So let's do some baseball, shall we? The Marlins and the Astros, Sun Life Stadium. Ricky Nolasco getting ready to rock and roll. And the Marlins trying to keep their roll going. Here's the Astros lineup, brought to you by Warren Henry Automobiles. Speedy Michael Bourne leads it off. Jeff Keppinger in the 2 spot. Hunter Pence is an all-star. Carlos Lee put on a great display in left field last night. Brett Wallace at first. Chris Johnson gets the start at third. Clint Barmas at short. Humberto Quintero is the catcher. And here is Ricky Nolasco's first pitch to Michael Bourne. It's fouled off of John Buck, and we are underway. Ricky has been very solid his last 3 starts.
Yeah, he really has. We talked about the comparisons. Ricky and Javier Vasquez not getting a lot of support, but pitching well over their last 3 or 4 outings.
Bourne, obviously a dangerous man. He flips that one foul and out of play. National League's base stealing leader. 2 for 9. The Marlins so far have kept the weapons that the Astros have in check. Bourne in the leadoff spot, Pence in the 3 spot, and Carlos Lee, the cleanup hitter. 0-2 coming. It's outside.
Yeah, when you're talking about control, they actually have very good averages, 3rd in the National League in average, but I think they're having kind of what the Marlins were having, trouble scoring runs with men in scoring position.
Here's the 1-2. That's that nasty breaking ball that seems to have come back to Ricky Nolasco. Bourne got a piece, but Buck was able to get it for it, hit the dirt.
You know, when he has that going, along with a few sliders and spotting the fastball, he usually has a successful night. And I think you see a few of those tonight because Brett Myers features the same thing.
Ricky's last time out, the 1-0 loss to the Phillies. And as Tommy pointed out in Marlins Live, he faced Houston in Houston, pitched well, and beat him 4-3. That seems like almost 2 seasons ago.
When was that?
That was April 9th. There's the numbers for Ricky.
That's the last time I wore my cowboy boots.
The ones you got at Pinto Ranch?
Yeah.
Here's the 1-0 pitch to Keppinger.
First and last, or just last?
Last pair?
Is that the first time you wore them and the last time you wore them? Or?
No, I think I wore them in between. I think I have worn them since.
Keppinger 1 for 8 in this series. And he drills one to left. Pretty well hit. Morrison over and reaches and makes the catch. Marlins defensively. Brought to you by Warren Henry tonight.
Now we'll take a look at that defense. We'll see another start tonight from Mike Cameron in center field, watching him easily move around in the outfield. Bonifacio back in the lineup. Hanley and Omar up the middle. John Buck is behind the plate handling Ricky Nolasco.
Great point, Tommy, about easily moving around the outfield. Mike Cameron, Logan Morrison came up to me the other day next to the cage, and he just looked at me and says, wow, what a difference.
If you're a Logan Morrison, a Mike Stanton, a Brian Peterson, you got to be right on his hip all day.
You're going to be going to school on this guy every single day in batting practice. Watch him take his work out there. He works his butt off still after being in the league 15 years. Just a great guy to have on your team right now.
And a very unselfish guy as well. And I think that's an overlooked part of a veteran player. Because oftentimes you'll get a veteran player, he doesn't really care about the young players. He doesn't really want them around. Cameron is the complete opposite of that. You want to talk baseball, Mike Cameron will give you as much time as you want.
No matter who you are.
Yes.
First-year player, 10-year player, he wants to talk with you.
Nolasco out in front, 0-2.
One of the few guys, as you watch Pence, and he's second in the National League in hitting, one of the few guys you see nowadays choking up on the bat.
And
I'm sure it's not a light bat.
He chokes way up.
Yeah.
Here's the 1-2. He's a unique player to me because when you talk about players that bring energy to a game, it's usually focused on little guys like a Shane Victorino or a Bonifacio. But Pence to me is an energy guy.
Boy, I'll tell you what, there's energy. He doesn't do anything smoothly. When you watch him, you think fundamentally he's not very sound, but he does everything great.
Fastball from Ricky, and Pence took a big swing at it.
Yeah, we've seen it in this series. He has 9 assists in the outfield, got tremendous throwing arm.
But when you watch him throw, it's like, ooh, it's kind of an ugly throwing motion. When you watch him swing, it's like, it's not a very pretty swing, but my goodness, he runs well, he throws well, he hits well.
Very athletic, very good player. He's got 24 doubles already this year. Going to the All-Star game. Big curveball. He bangs it out towards Infante. Nolasco works a 1-2-3 first. Super Saturday is officially underway. Marlins and Astros, the Fish, game number 90. They've won 3 straight, 7 of their last 10. They're getting ready to face Brett Myers with this lineup, brought to you by Warren Henry. Emilio Bonifacio is a new dad back in the lineup. Omar Infante, Gabby Sanchez, Hanley Ramirez, Logan Morrison, Mike Stanton. And then you've got Mike Cameron, John Buck, and Ricky Nolasco. And here is Bonifacio. Marlins without him last night. And Brian Peterson in the leadoff spot. And Myers uncorks a fastball that misses outside.
This guy the Marlins certainly have seen a lot over the years. 25 career starts against the Fish. He's 6-11.
Jacksonville native. The Marlins. The funny thing is, you just talked about all the numbers and the times the Marlins have faced him. But these modern day Marlins haven't, because he's been with Houston, and the Stantons, the Morrisons, those guys haven't really seen him as much as, say, a Hanley or a guy that's been here for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, Hanley with pretty good numbers against him in 31 at bats. But you're right. Other than that, Mike Cameron has seen a little bit of him.
I probably saw more of him than all these guys put together.
Myers misses outside, and it's 3-1. Englewood High School in Jacksonville, first-round pick of the Phillies. Actually, the 12th overall pick in '99. 30-year-old veteran, had a very solid year last year for Houston.
Take a look at the scouting report. 2 and 4 seamers, that 12-6 curveball. Pretty quick to first base. Not too bad.
And Bonifacio is aboard. Emilio's on base percentage closing in on .350 right now. And he certainly has had a very nice run under Jack McKee. And here comes Omar Infante. And Tommy, we keep going back to that game in Oakland where Jack was so frustrated that Bonifacio wouldn't steal that he climbed to the top step of the dugout and yelled for him to steal. And it's almost like it's taken the burden of decision-making off of his shoulders, and he's flourished with it.
Yeah, now he's going to have to be careful of that quick move from Myers. I think the other thing with Bonifacio, with what he's done now, he has confidence. He has confidence in taking pitches. He has confidence in hitting with 2 strikes.
Well, like you said, Rich, it kind of took the fear away. I think before he was tentative and he was scared about being thrown out. When your manager says, I want you to go, and if you get thrown out, it's on me. Well, heck, he's running free now.
Brett Wallace over there at first base. Bonifacio in this run has only been thrown out once, but on the season has been thrown out 4 times. Here's a guy at the plate that the Marlins would like to get going. That's Infante. There goes Bonifacio. Pitches in, and the throw is not in time. Number 13 for Bonifacio. And if he's an everyday player, if he's got a .360 on base percentage, he's capable of stealing 40 or 45 bases.
Very easily. A little tough pitch for Quintero to deal with. He had to reach and then come up with the throw, but Bonifacio, we see him with the straight-on slide. Might have been out.
He was actually out. His front foot went
might
right
have got
over
a little
the bag.
break right there, yeah.
Here's the 1-1. There's a bunt down the third baseline. But isn't that a play similar to the play at home plate the other night? If the foot goes over the bag, it's tough for the umpire to tell. You know what I'm saying? It's tough for the umpire from that angle to tell if the foot is on the bag or over the bag.
Almost impossible. He's right on top of the play. He's looking right at it, but you can't see that inch that he's not touching the bag.
So if the foot gets there, the runner's there.
And generally, if the tag's on the backside, the runner's there. In the umpire's mind.
1-2 coming to Infante, and it's down low. Here's the area of Infante's game that has really suffered. Omar Infante, in his last 100 plate appearances, and this spans over 24 games, has walked just 3 times. Hitting at .257 right now. He's 2 for 9 in this series.
I do think we've seen improvements, though, especially in situations like this, with Emilio playing as well as he has and getting to second base, is him moving him over.
Yeah.
Getting him to third base.
And Jack has come out and said, and even though I agree with you about the bunt of Gabby Sanchez last night, the other night, I forget when it was, he has said he wants to get that run in the first inning. He wants to get on the board quickly.
Believe it or not, Marlins lead the National League in first inning runs. Run scored.
Breaking ball misses outside. And it's 3-2 now.
See what kind of a pitch Infante gets here now.
Gabby Sanchez on deck, then Hanley Ramirez. Marlins in the first. With Emilio Bonifacio in scoring position. That one fouled back to the screen.
You know what's hard to believe when I was just going over this game tonight, that the Marlins' last 4-game win streak was in April.
Wow. Is that right?
And it's actually their longest win streak of the year.
That's actually shocking. It seems up until May 30th, when they kind of imploded, that they had won more than that.
Back to Myers. He has trouble picking it up, but he's going to get Infante. It's exactly what Jeff Conine alluded to. Infante delivers the runner to third base.
And hit it well. If not for Myers just sacrificing his body and knocking it down, it's in the center field.
Here's the Astros defensively.
And again, brought to you by Warren Henry with Carlos Lee, Bourne, and Pence in that outfield. Chris Johnson with the first start of the series for him. Barmas and Keppinger up the middle, and Humberto Quintero behind the plate.
Now Gabby, who has a couple of hits and has scored 3 runs.
Now, as a hitter, you look at this situation, you come up to the plate with a guy on third base, only 1 out, and you've got everybody in the infield back. I mean, as a hitter, especially a third or fourth place hitter, you're drooling right now. Like, I've got so many opportunities, so many ways I can score a run right here.
And the whole key to that is getting the right pitch. Yeah.
Getting the right pitch, and you know, you don't necessarily need a fly ball here. A ground ball, I know a lot of guys, well, you see him bringing the infield in now, but a lot of guys will say, oh, I don't want to make an out if I can do it with a fly ball. Well, I think a ground ball is easier to hit than a fly ball, where you've got the opportunity to pop it up in the infield and don't score that run.
And the reason the infield comes in with 2 strikes, and tougher to hit.
Gabby takes one for the team, and that's going to bring Hanley Ramirez up with runners at the corners.
I think it's so important against anybody to score first, but when you score first against a team that's really been struggling, and the Astros certainly have really been struggling, and then you can try to put them down early. They have that same mindset the Marlins had a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, the Astros have had it the entire season. The Marlins had it just in the month of June. It's been a long year for Brad Mills and the Astros. Now Hanley, and as Tommy pointed out, he has the most experience against Myers. 31 at bats, 11 hits. One of those a home run.
You see Myers nowadays is not quite the pitcher that he was when I played with him or even faced him earlier on. He used to be if I'm going to throw my fastball and really get behind it, I'm going to be a 95, 96 mile an hour guy. Now you see his fastball 89, 91. He's really got to work on just what he did right there, sink.
Slowly hit. Barmas to first. Marlins get the run. Hanley drives in his 35th of the season, his 4th of the series, and the importance of getting Bonifacio to third turns up there.
And also his 19th RBI in his 17th game now as a number 4 hitter.
And the Marlins have scored a run without a hit.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yes, it is. They could score another run if they get a hit here. Logan Morrison climbs in. Gabby Sanchez at second. Morrison hits a roller towards short. Gabby tried to screen it, but Barmas makes the play, and the inning is over. But the Fish get a run, a walk, a stolen base, a ground ball. Voila, 1-0. Astros. Rich Waltz, Tommy Hutton, Jeff Conine in the booth for the ball game. All your cooling weather report. Jeff happy to be in the booth because it's 89 degrees. And they got some humidity out there. The Grand Poobah is here.
Did Minervini have to sign that waiver to allow us to have a Niner up here?
Yeah, it's in Jeff's contract. We get him once every homestand. Here's El Caballo. Carlos Lee takes a strike.
Much to Craig's dismay.
Brett Wallace, Chris Johnson also scheduled to appear here in the second. Lee is 2 for 7 in this series. And we had the enjoyment of watching him play left field last night, which, you know, Carlos Lee is getting up there in age and growing every year. He's at 35 right now. He's not built for playing left field every day.
The play last night, I think, kind of illustrated that.
Now the problem is they have Brett Wallace, who plays first base, and he's got to be there. Occasionally they'll put Carlos over there. We saw him at first the other night. You know,
and here's Wallace who steps in. And the thing about it for Houston, they've got a ballpark where you can get by with him with the Crawford boxes in left because he doesn't have to cover a lot of ground. But in an outfield like this, you can get exposed pretty quickly. Wallace takes inside. Just watching this guy hit, we saw him earlier this year. I think he's going to be a good hitter in the big leagues.
We saw him briefly in spring training as well, and I was impressed with the way he swung the bat in spring training, and been very aggressive. Seems like he knows the strike zone well, disciplined for a young kid.
Yeah, on base percentage near 370.
One of those guys that's just been looking for a place to play. He's only 24. Tommy pointed out the Triple Crown that he won in the Pac-10 at Arizona State. And we documented all the different trades he's been involved in, hopping from one organization to another.
Might have been a power lifter in his former life, too.
Yeah,
his legs looks like he could squat about 800 pounds.
Yeah, he is strong.
Brings up the memory of one of the great Astros of all time, Jeff Bagwell, who was strong like bull as well. In the air, Morrison. And Lomo lines it up and makes the catch. Tomorrow's a family Sunday at 1:10. The Marlins and the Astros. Fans can take a photo with a Marlins player at the strike zone pregame. So come on out early, get a chance to take a picture with a Marlin player. And, of course, kids always can run the bases after the game in the Diamond Dash, 1-877-MARLINS. Or go to marlins.com. We will be with you tomorrow at 12:30. Here's Chris Johnson. And Johnson fouls it back. Chris Johnson, the 26-year-old out of Naples, was hopeful that this would be the year that he'd finally get a chance to really cut loose in the big leagues. Last year he played 94 games. Tommy had a solid season last year.
Yeah, you know, they took that 94 games. He hit 308, and the Astros were hoping that he would repeat or be somewhere around those numbers this year.
Just by the glove of a diving Gabby Sanchez. Johnson, the throw is behind him from Stanton. Johnson didn't get too far on his turn. And the youngster out of Stetson University has a base hit.
If he hits this way a little bit more, he might bring that average up. But so far, a little bit of a disappointment with his average at 239 coming into the game today.
Boy, I tell you what, watching this really makes me feel old. Chris Johnson, the son of my A-ball coach, Ron Johnson.
Who you pointed out is a first base coach with the Red Sox.
First or third base coach for the Red Sox, and wow, do I feel old.
And of course the connection there is the fact that Brad Mills was on that Red Sox staff with his father for so many years. Mills a right-hand man for Terry Francona for many years.
Yeah, they were teammates all the way back to the University of Arizona.
Here is Barmas. Astros needed a shortstop. Barmas swings and misses. And Barmas, if you know his story, was a great rookie sensation with the Colorado Rockies. Got injured that rookie year, injured his shoulder falling down some stairs. And
sounds familiar.
Then Troy Tulowitzki happened upon the scene. Ricky's 0-2 pitch. Foul back to the screen.
It's kind of Wally Pippish, huh?
Yeah, well.
And wasn't it he was carrying some groceries up the stairs to his apartment?
Well, that was the original story.
Yeah,
then it got better after that?
Yeah, it got better after that. He had been hunting with Berkman, and they were carrying venison.
Actually, Todd Helton.
He'd been hunting with Helton, yeah.
It was venison.
Venison.
Here's the 0-2. You know what? To Barmes' credit, Tulowitzki comes in. Barmes becomes like a super utility infield guy and then plays so well that he ends up as an everyday second baseman. And then when Tulowitzki would go out with injuries, the Rockies would just shift Barmes over to short. And he played so well at shortstop that when the Astros were looking for one, Barmes was one of the guys they targeted. Breaking ball. Did he check? Yes, he did. That's C.B. Bucknor. Jerry Meals is behind home plate. Bucknor is at first base. We've got a couple of all-star umpires with us. Dan Iasonia is at second. He'll be at third for the all-star game. And crew chief Dale Scott, one of the better umpires in the game, will be behind home plate for the all-star game.
Yeah, Dale Scott had a good game last night.
Yes, he did. Two-two from Ricky on the way. Ground ball, Bonifacio's way. Short over to Infante. And Ricky Nolasco looks sharp again.
That one's drilled deep to left field. Going back Joyce, looking up. See ya! 3,000. History with an exclamation point. Oh, what a way to join the 3,000 hit club. Derek Jeter has done it in grand style.
How about that? I mean, how about that? You go 5 for 5 and homer for your 3,000th. What a special moment in the Bronx for Derek Jeter.
5 for 5, and his fifth hit drove in the go-ahead run, the winning run in the eighth inning for the Yankees.
Got some Yankee fans here.
He was interviewed after the game and was asked if this was scripted, how would it play? He said if it was scripted, nobody would have bought it because it was so unbelievable.
I mean, you could see the reaction of the Yankee players. Jorge Posada at home plate waiting for him to cross. Here's Mike Stanton. And Myers trying to get inside on him. Misses. It's a ball and a strike. Stanton, Mike Cameron, and John Buck for the Fish here in the bottom of the second.
Well, you talk about a special day for a special guy. That's
Mike Stanton. He didn't get all of it. Bourne is back, and he makes the catch. About 400 feet from home plate.
Got a lot of uh-ohs with Mike Stanton. When he hits one, it always seems like it has a chance.
Myers gets it out. The Marlins have a 1-0 lead and still don't have a hit. And here is Mike Cameron. Now, one of the teams that Mike Cameron was a part of in his career had an interesting day, flirting with a no-hitter today. Wallace creeps over towards the wall, and it's out of play. I mean, the Jeter game certainly is the headline of the day in Major League Baseball, but how about the Padres and the Dodgers? 5 San Diego pitchers had a no-hitter going into the bottom of the 9th. The problem was the Padres had just 1 hit, and they hadn't scored a run. The Dodgers broke up the no-hitter and then won the ball game 1-0.
Uribe had a double, and Deanna Navarro followed with a game-winning single.
3 total hits and 1 run scored.
Cameron lines it into left field. Carlos Lee is there. He makes the catch.
And another wild one in Philadelphia in that Atlanta-Phillies series. Another extra inning game. And Atlanta this time came out on top in the 11 innings, 4-1.
Last night it was a Raul Ibanez walk-off shot. And this afternoon it was a Brian McCann home run in the 11th. Dan Uggla also homered for both of those Braves, their 15th of the season. Cliff Lee homered for the Phillies. That was a 1-1 game until the top of the 11th.
That was a good sign by Mike Cameron. Great swing right there, line drive. It's going to take him some time to get his timing back. Really hadn't played a game in 10 days before he came here. And folks, it's not an easy thing to do to take 10 days off of seeing a live Major League arm. Getting back out there and getting your timing together.
Well, I think the Marlins have the luxury right now of having so many hitters that are starting to get hot that they can keep Cameron in the lineup while he gets up to speed.
And he's going to add so much to this team, just like, you know, the comment from Logan the other day about watching him go about his business in center field and the way he works during batting practice, the way he conducts himself in the clubhouse. It's going to have an effect on everyone.
Myers 1-2.
The sad news is you would have liked to have him here earlier.
Yeah.
When you're hitting,
somebody's getting hot.
When you're hitting, everybody's all smiles. One and 2 to John Buck. John Buck, left field, and deep, and gone. 2-0. First hit of the ball game for the Marlins is a home run, and it's a solo shot by John Buck, his 10th of the season.
Now, quietly, all of a sudden, John Buck with a 5-game hitting streak now, and when he gets that fastball, it's out over the plate. A strong swing, and he's hit a lot of balls in that area, in that deeper part of left center. He's got power to go out there.
We talked about Carlos Lee and his follies in the outfield last night, but if you would have saw him on that one, he did not budge. He just watched that ball fly out of here.
Our Gunther Volkswagen drive of the game.
Do pitchers really not like that? When you have to give it a couple of
probably
courtesy
not,
steps,
I
maybe?
guess so, but when it's a no-doubter.
I think broadcasters appreciate it because when you see an outfielder not move, you know it's gone.
You know it's gone.
The 23rd home run that Brett Myers has allowed this year. That's second in the National League to Bronson Arroyo.
Velasco takes a knee-high strike, and the count's 2-1. So John Buck with 10 homers now, closing in on the All-Star break. The former Astro draft pick makes it 2-0. 2-2. Velasco pulls it foul. Myers last year, much like the Astros, had a pretty good year. In fact, he had a very good year for a team that was 10 under. He was 14-8 with a 3.14 ERA. And he strikes out in the last go. But John Buck gets him for the 10th time this season. John Buck leaves the yard. His 100th career home run. Biggest stars will gather together in the Arizona desert for one spectacular night in the summer's biggest event as Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2011 Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 12th, live from Phoenix, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on Fox. Rich Waltz, Tommy Hutton, and we are joined tonight by an All-Star Game MVP, Jeff Conine.
Oh, hello.
How are you?
I'm well.
That home run was hit, let's see, which All-Star Game, which ballpark?
Which pitcher?
You just came from there.
Texas.
Ah.
The ballpark in Arlington against Steve Ontiveros.
An Oakland Athletic at the time.
Exactly.
A breaking ball that didn't break?
You know, it was interesting. I had no idea who Steve Ontiveros was in the National League at the time. So Matt Williams was kind of giving me a scouting report and telling me they'd like to throw cutters, you know, a lot of cutters. So I took first pitch, and it was a cutter for a ball. And I thought, well, I'll take another one, you know, just to see what he's doing. And I was about to step in the box. I'm like, you know what, he might groove one right here, so I'm not going to take. And he threw another cutter and hit my bat, basically.
That was a big home run and a big moment for you.
It was a huge, I mean, up to that point of my career, it was the biggest moment of my career.
0-2 pitch to Humberto Quintero.
We beat the American League 3-2, and we had 3 solo home runs.
Who else went deep in that game?
Craig Biggio and Mike Piazza.
Now, did your manager at the time give you the rah-rah speech that we're going to go out and beat those American League SO? You know?
Oh yeah. He was leading the charge. It was rah. We were flying down that.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, speaking of Biggio, also reached 3,000 hits with the same club. 14 of the 28 players to reach 3,000 hits have done it with the same club. And Biggio, the only other who did it with a 5-hit game, too.
And, of course, Biggio was trying to stretch a ball in the gap into a double and got thrown out at second. He had to settle for a single. Infante flips it to first. The guys with one team to get to 3,000. There's some great names on there. Yastrzemski with the Red Sox, Musial. Jeter has joined that club. Of course, Clemente sadly passed once he did it with the Pirates. Biggio, Brett Gwynn, Al Kaline for Jim Holley in the truck, Cal Ripken, and Robin Yount.
I think Kaline at 3,007, so Jeter will go by him.
I was fortunate enough to be on the field for 2 of those.
Really?
George Brett's and Cal Ripken's. I got to see both of them. I was on both of those teams.
That's great. The only other player to homer for the 3000s was Boggs.
Wade Boggs,
yeah,
in Tampa.
Here's the 0-1. In the wake of George Brett getting his 3,000 hit, I think somebody asked him, for your last at bat, what would you like to do? Would you know, homer, double, whatever?
It's a good story.
And he said, I would like to hit a ground ball to the second baseman and bust it all the way down the line and get thrown out by a step. And everybody remembered that I ran hard to first on my last AB.
He ran hard to first on every AB, and you know, it was a honor and a pleasure for me to be able to. I didn't play with him for very long, about 3 months, but to watch him go about his business every day and watch him take batting practice and hustle the way he did and play the game the right way, it had a very lasting impact on me.
Brett Myers at the plate. The 2-2's on the way. And Myers gets into one, drills it in the gap. Cameron racing after it. He'll pick it up. And Myers has himself a double.
I'll tell you what, Myers swings the bat. Remember, he had that 3-hit game in the NLCS against the Dodgers. And he just put it on display then. Of course, Ricky just goes right down the middle, little middle in.
I think Philly fans have kind of forgotten about the Brett Myers era with all the stars they have now in the rotation. But he was an anchor in that rotation for many years.
He was their opening day starter for many years.
And closer for a while as well.
That's right. Here's Bourne now with Myers out at second. Marlins with a 2-0 lead.
Niner, the point you made about George Brett, the impact that he had on you as a young player, I think sometimes organizations forget what a veteran guy, a presence of a veteran, especially one that's in there playing, I think he has to be playing a little bit, can have on younger players.
Well, that was one of the quotes that Mike Cameron had his first day here. Bourne hits it in the gap right center. Stanton is over, and he makes the catch. A reporter asked Cameron if he was here to be a clubhouse leader and be a leader on the field, and Mike said, actually, no, because he said the most effective leaders are, and he pointed at Hanley Ramirez, are guys that not only are playing every day, but are great players. Those are the people that are the most important leaders. He said, yeah, I will lend a hand, but you know, I'm not here to lead everybody to the promised land. I'm going to help the outfielders and help the kids where I can, and obviously try to help the team on the field.
Good point. I mean, when you look to a true leader is the superstar that plays the game the absolute right way. That's, you know, I have so much respect for Derek Jeter as long as he's been at it, and the way he's gone about his business and played the game in a city like New York could be Hall of Fame material in and of itself. You never hear him in any controversy off the field doing bad things, or he's just been a model of consistency. And you know, when I was playing with the Baltimore Orioles, we'd go in there 9 times a year, and in those years we were getting our butts kicked quite often. And you know, I hated doing that, going there and getting beat, but it was fun to watch that team.
Mike Cameron glides over and makes the catch, and Ricky Nolasco has 3 shutout innings in the books. Astros. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton, a special treat. Jeff Conine comes out of the heat, gets to come up and watch a ball game with us. We're glad you're with us on a Saturday night. The Marlins have won 7 of their last 10. And guys, this young ball club is showing signs of getting back to where they were at the end of May. I know June was just abysmal, but you know, if the Fish win this game, they got a chance. They will win the series. They're slowly creeping back to 500.
You know, I think you put a lot of things together. You put the things that Bonifacio's done at the top of the order. You put better swings, better at bats, certainly from Hanley, from Mike Stanton, and then the pitching has been there as well, the starting pitching.
How about what Chris Volstad has been able to do his last 3 or 4 starts, and Javi Vasquez? You put that in together with what Bonifacio's emergence as this spark plug at the top of the lineup. That's good stuff.
And remember, the Marlins have just 3 wins in Josh Johnson's column, and the rotation has been able to, at least it seems like, pick up the ball and run with it in JJ's absence. His return is not set in stone. That's still a moving target depending on the pain in his shoulder as he tries to restart his throwing program. So I mean I don't think you can count on Josh Johnson until maybe mid-August if he has been shut down now.
I would say if that.
Well, you're at the point now with a starting pitcher to be out as long as he has. He's going to have to do what Clay Hensley's doing. He's got to get back on the mound and do bullpens and then start building his pitch counts up to where he can go into a major league game, and that takes time. That probably takes 3 or 4 weeks just to do that.
And Hensley is doing that, and Clay, with every start as he comes back from that shoulder injury, has been stretched out a little further and a little further, and the Marlins, I think, are curious to see what he would look like in their starting rotation. He's been fabulous in their bullpen.
Yeah, he pitched today in a rehab assignment, gave up a couple of runs, no walks in 4 innings, threw over 50 pitches, and then went down through a little bit more in the bullpen.
Myers with a good sharp breaking ball in on the hands of Bonifacio.
I think it gives the Marlins options when Clay Hensley comes back. If he's stretched out, it gives them options as to how they want to use it.
Well, if you guys remember the spring training that Clay Hensley had 2 springs ago, when he was in strong consideration for that 5th starter spot because he had an outstanding spring. He might have been our best starting pitcher during that spring training.
As a non-roster guy.
Yep, and he pitched so well that the Marlins, who had 5 starters, made the decision, you know what, this guy's pitched so well, we don't want to let him go anywhere. Let's find a role for him. And he went from long guy to 7th inning guy to 8th inning guy very quickly, and then ended up, of course, closing games quite effectively last year. Infante out to center. Our poll question tonight.
What's the poll tonight, Rich?
I thought it would have to do with the Jeff Conine ice cream eating contest. But it doesn't. Tickets of America poll. Who's the most improved Marlin this season? Emilio Bonifacio, Brett Hayes, Anibal Sanchez, and Gabby Sanchez. 789-789. Walker, Texas Rangers, not on that list. He was on just about every list when we were in Texas.
He was a winner, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Your favorite Ranger, wasn't it? Gabby takes a knee-high strike. Hit by a pitch in the first. Marlins got a run in the first. A walk to Bonifacio, a stolen base. Infante moved him up on a ground ball. After Gabby was hit by a pitch, a little roller off the bat of Hanley scored the run. And then a blast by Buck in the second is 100th career homer. Myers thought that one came far enough for a strike, and it's 1-1.
I thought the poll could have been who has the best career numbers against Brett Myers, as our crack staff has uncovered some really interesting numbers.
Here's the 1-1.
And those numbers being that Jeff Conine was 8 for 16 with 3 doubles and a home run.
Wow.
And no strikeouts against Myers.
I like those numbers.
It's too bad.
That was right after my photo was taken for my Hitters Guild card. I had the big smile on my face.
That's right. Still a card-carrying member. In the air, a mile high. Wallace wanders into foul territory and makes the catch. Brett Myers, a 1-2-3. Third, his first 1-2-3 of the night. Astros in the fourth. Stop by any Metro PCS store in Miami, Broward, or Palm Beach before July 10th. That's tomorrow. Register to win a trip for two to see the Marlins play in San Diego, 19th through the 21st. Trip includes airfare, hotel, tickets to all three games. Too bad you can't throw in fish tacos down at the Gas Lamp Quarter.
Yeah, at the Tin Fish.
Well, maybe Tommy and I will take you there. Don't wait. Stop by your local Metro PCS store right now. Metro PCS, wireless for all.
That's got to be one of the favorite stops in all of the National League, San Diego.
Yeah.
It was one of my, I grew up out there, so I was in San Diego quite a bit, but for guys that had never been there or their first trips in there, they've always said San Diego is the number one.
And even now, with where the ballpark is.
Oh.
I mean, it was nice when you had to go out to Mission Valley.
Yeah.
Out there. But now where the ballpark is downtown, it's incredible.
You take a nice little stroll out of your hotel, and you're at the ballpark in about 10 minutes, and the way that they're revitalized that area down there, it's spectacular.
And it's one of those new ballparks where people see it now and they say, boy, what a great place for a ballpark. But when they built that ballpark, that was not a nice area.
No, it wasn't.
No.
That was an area that a teenage Jeff Conine, when he's hanging out with his buddies in San Diego, would not frequent.
Your parents told you not to go down there.
That and Tijuana.
Yes. Don't go to the border, please.
Swing and a miss by Hunter Pence. And Ricky Nolasco is on right now. He's given up just 2 hits tonight. Our trivia question, as always, brought to you by AT&T. We flip the phone and find who is the only Astros pitcher to win National League Pitcher of the Month in back-to-back months. El Caballo off the end of the bat, and he slams it to the ground. Nolasco flips it to first. And Ricky is doing it on an economy of pitches, just 48 so far.
9 of 13 first pitch strikes. He's had 7 0-2 counts. I'm going to throw out a Mike Scott again. I tried Mike Scott the other night. Might be a.
I think they took one of those awards away because they felt he was scuffing the ball. That Emery board incident, I think.
Do you think that might have swayed a few voters there?
You could go with another guy who had another guy who had the Emery board incident with Joe Negro. Pulled it out of his back pocket.
Oh, was it Negro that did that? I thought it was Scott.
No, that was
I
Joe
apologize
Negro.
to the entire Scott family. Though he was rumored to occasionally scuff the ball. Niner, did you ever face him? Or he's a little before your time?
A little before my time. But I do remember watching him in the The stuff that ball did was not natural. It didn't seem as much as it moved.
All right, there's a lot of great Astros pitchers to pick from as Brett Wallace stands in.
You could throw in a Nolan Ryan.
A J.R. Richard.
J.R. Richard.
Scott. How about the 1 year that Jose Lima had in the Astrodome before they moved into the new ballpark?
20-game winner.
Maybe Lima time stretched over 2 months.
Jim DeShays, is that
possible? Absolutely.
It's possible.
He's right next door.
We'll go ask him.
I'm going to go with him because he's right next door. And then I think they usually kind of gear these trivia questions for somebody that's in the building.
See, but that's a smart move on your part because you're going to go ask him, and if it isn't him, he'll tell you who it is.
There's the 2-1 pitch to
I
Wallace.
might just text Jim right now.
Velasco gets a strike. You know, Ricky has had some rough outings this year, but he's on one of those rolls, and we've seen him in his career. He'll get locked in for a month and a half, where he'll reel off 5-6 really good starts. And he's on one of those rolls right now as he strikes out Brett Wallace. Ricky Velasco is dealing tonight in Miami. Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by Florida Power & Light. FPL is working to make its system stronger, smarter, cleaner, and even more efficient. Visit FPLConnect.com to learn more. By Coventry Healthcare of Florida, lighting the way to better health. Rich Waltz, Tommy Hutton, Jeff Conine. Still waiting for the shuttle to zoom through.
Would that be awesome? You're up there.
And all of a sudden you see
see it go streaking across the moon.
2-0 Fish. Hanley Ramirez takes outside. We check in with Craig Minervini. Craig?
Rich, thank you very much. The numbers are just astounding. Hanley Ramirez against the Houston Astros in his career. Nobody has hit the Stros better than the Marlins number 2. 391 after the 3 hits last night in his career. You see the other names: Lofton, Bake McBride, Joey Votto, Tony Gwynn on that list.
Drive to left center. The average is going to go down just a tick on that one.
Just a little bit. 7 for his last 14, though, including 6 RBIs. You go back a couple more games. And Hanley is feeling good. Jack McKeon was talking about today. He said, I don't know if the number 4 spot is the key, because he was asked about Hanley being happy. He said, but it was kind of like with Luis Castillo. I always went up to him, hey, you're my guy. And he has that kind of sort of relationship with Hanley Ramirez, leaning on Hanley, and Hanley has taken the ball and run with it since Jack has taken over.
Logan Morrison stepping in and then stepping out. Alberto Quintero asking home plate umpire Jerry Meals.
You know, Myers likes to work fast, and he was ready to go.
Here's the pitch to Logan Morrison. Now, funny that Craig mentioned Louis Castillo. We're joined by Jeff Conine. I mean, you just saw Hanley Ramirez. If you put all three of those guys together, you get one impressive list, and Hanley is approaching 1,000 hits as a Marlin. Louis on top, Niner, you just over 1,000.
Wow. Just find all kinds of cool stuff out about myself tonight.
Let's talk more about me.
There it is. They're good lists to be on.
There it is.
The Major League Hitters Guild lifetime member. See, that photo wasn't taken after I was told about what my average was against Brett Myers.
Yeah, you were 0 for 4, I think, in that
That was my average off of Tim Wakefield. That's when they took that picture. Very sullen. Like, what? I'm hitting what off of Tim Wakefield?
Logan Morrison with the count at 1-2. And Myers with a changeup. What do you see from Morrison right now, Jeff? Because he's not the Logan Morrison that we've seen over almost a full Major League season now.
I see from at bat to at bat, it seems like his plan is changing. You've seen him cast his bat a lot around outside pitches where his strength is left center field. So we've seen a lot of ground balls, weak ground balls to second base, to first base. Then all of a sudden you see the home run that he hit to left center. That was a bomb. I mean, that's a big fly ball on a middle away pitch. So when he's good, he's taking walks like he did with that base loaded situation last night and hitting home runs or balls to the opposite field. When he's not so good, he's rolling over on those pitches and grounding out to the right side of the infield.
Myers tried the changeup away, the other 1-2 pitch. Same type of pitch. You know, the funny thing is, Tommy, someone was talking about Mike Stanton and Logan Morrison and how they've had their ups and downs this year. Got me to thinking. I pulled up the numbers to the two youngsters in Atlanta, Jason Hayward and Freddie Freeman. Hayward coming into play, 227 average, 9 homers, 22 RBIs this year. He's played in 68 games, but he's slugging just 404. Freeman has 13 homers, 43 RBIs. His slugging is at 466. He's got 19 doubles. And, of course, you got Stanton with the 18 homers, 51 driven in. Morrison missed almost an entire month. And Lomo with 12 homers, 39 RBIs, and 17 doubles.
I think in the case of Freeman, you actually have to wait till next year, too, to see what the league does and how they adjust to him, because the other guys you're talking about are all in their second year, Freeman in his rookie year.
And for Morrison and Stanton, they got half a season last year. Hayward, of course, burst onto the scene last year, got a full season.
And you see that the numbers Logan's putting up now, even after struggling as he has for a couple weeks now. And when he gets back on track, I think we're going to see a pretty productive season by the end.
3-2. Fastball, line drive, base hit, right center. See if he tries to stretch it. Pence up with a ball. Morrison digging, and he is in there. His hero, George Brett, would be proud of that one.
Yes, he would. I'm telling you right now, he's on second base because of what he did right out of the box.
Watch the quick steps.
Swing.
There it is. Checkers double of the game. Lomo out of the box in a hurry. 18th double of the year. And you're right about when it's all said and done this year, Niner, you're looking at 20 home runs, 35 doubles, 70, 80 RBIs for Logan Morrison.
And that's if he kind of stays at his current pace. I think when he gets hot, those numbers are going to jump considerably. Isn't he slugging over 500 right now?
475. The area that's gone down has been the on-base percentage.
Yeah.
336 coming into play tonight. Now here is Stanton. Stanton brought everyone to the edge of their seat with a 400-foot fly ball to the triangle in left center his first time up. What's the biggest difference you see in Mike Stanton from his last couple weeks as opposed to the month of June?
Pitch selection. I think he's been swinging at a lot of pitches out of the strike zone and committing really early, especially on breaking balls. He's not recognizing that pitch halfway there, so he starts to swing, and When you got to swing that powerful, it's tough to stop.
Actually, that right there is a good example of pitch selection, because I would gather with the 2-0 count, he's not looking slider.
Right.
And he took that pitch. He had a nice take on that pitch.
That's exactly what Stanton said when we were interviewing him the other night, only it sounded like Mr. Lefton, because his mouth was full of shaving cream.
I think that's what he was trying to tell us.
He was trying to say pitch selection. That's been the difference. That was out of the zone but called a strike. Morrison's at second. Brett Myers with a 3-1 count on Mike Stanton. A strike, and it's 3-2.
That's one of those pitches where you start cringing on the way when it's on the way there, thinking that he might actually crush that ball.
Let's see if Myers spins one up there. Got a piece. Stays at 3-2.
So aside from that cringing pitch, everything's been a breaking ball.
Yes.
Another 3-2 coming. Yeah, good snapping, breaking ball. And Brett Myers strikes out Mike Stanton. All right, I'm going to go. I'm going to go on the limb. I'm going Jose Lima.
I'm going to go Joe Niekro.
You got my pick.
Joe Niekro?
Jim Deshaies.
Jim Deshaies.
Randy Johnson.
See, he was texting him. How about Randy Johnson? See, we didn't think of Randy Johnson because he wasn't there that long.
He was a 2-month rental, so to speak.
Traded from Seattle to Houston, July of '98. The Mariners received John Halama, Freddie Garcia, and Carlos Guillen.
And, you know, the funny thing about Carlos Guillen is his best years were in Detroit. John Halama, a left-handed pitcher.
And then after those 2 months, the unit signed with Arizona as a free agent.
And won another couple Cy Youngs.
Yeah, and that took them to the World Series with Schilling in '01.
But probably that might go down as one of the best 2-month rentals in baseball history.
That and what?
10-1.
CC Sabathia was pretty good by Milwaukee.
With Milwaukee.
Yes.
It's a very similar situation. Which begs a question, who might be one of those guys this year in baseball that somebody goes after?
It's been, you know, usually this time of year you start hearing the trade rumors, and the trade talk's been relatively quiet this year.
You've heard this guy's name, Brett Myers. You've heard Wandy Rodriguez also, lefty who the Marlins will see tomorrow.
Solid lefty.
Mike Cameron works a walk.
Let's not mention my numbers against him.
Here comes John Buck. Second inning, a little bit of history for John Buck. Home run number 100.
Tell you what, the home runs that John Buck has hit, most of them this year, have been hit hard. They've been no doubters. He's hit 3 or 4 the opposite way to right center, and he's hit a few up into the blue seats here.
How about the one over the pool in Arizona?
Yeah,
opposite field.
Opposite field over the pool.
That's impressive.
That's good. You must have been watching that night.
Yeah, I was watching that night.
He was watching what was going on in the pool. There's a flip onto second. Cameron is out. Marlins leave a couple on a night where the Fish lead the Astros 2-0. We were showing the party going on down there, and there were a lot of young ladies in swimwear, and we got a few complaints on Twitter wanting to show some beefcake. So that's the best that we can do so far. Ricky Nolasco with a 2-0 lead. Hey, we tried, okay?
Did you say beefcake?
I did say beefcake. So that's what the fans wanted. Or apparently it's the equal time amendment.
Rich, I'm not so sure that's what the fans want.
All right, we'll do better next time.
But you said, you prefaced that by saying that's the best we got right now.
No.
In the pool area.
See, our female fans deserve equal time. Now, that guy's been to the gym.
He's in that seat a lot. He comes to a lot of games.
Chris Johnson.
He doesn't get tested either.
Wait, is he? You think he's going to school still, or?
Possibly, yeah.
Let's just stop. It's 1-2.
Rich, see what you started.
I'm the one that led us down that path. I apologize. Johnson takes a breaking ball outside. Clint Parmas, Humberto Quintero coming up as well. In the fifth, Ricky Nolasco is dealing tonight. Marlins have put 2 on the board, but Ricky's been splendid. 4 strikeouts, and he's following up 3 very solid starts. The 1-0 loss to the Phillies, the complete game win in Oakland, and strike 3 called on Johnson. So another strikeout for Nolasco.
Rich, I had a better path to go down with you here. I was thinking about this today. Ricky, if he's able to get a win tonight, it'll be a 60th. He's second on the all-time Marlins win list, second to Dontrell Willis. Think about that 2006 season. Scott Olson, J.J., Ricky, and Anibal Sanchez, all with 10 or more wins. Ricky's been the best of the bunch as far as winning games.
Yes, he has.
JJ's been hurt too much. Scott Olson has moved on and is injured. Anibal, because of injuries, had a solid year last year, another good year this year. But the best of that bunch of 06 to this point has been Ricky Nolasco.
And I can remember when the Marlins made the Juan Pierre trade, and we were looking at the pitchers that came back. Mitre was probably the headliner. He had the most experience. Pinto maybe the most intriguing because you're thinking maybe he could be a lefty specialist. And you looked at Ricky Nolasco's numbers, and it's like, wow, this guy has won everywhere he has pitched coming up the Cubs ladder.
I think a lot of people get caught up in ERAs, and more importantly, I think, is the win-loss column. You pitch against or play against guys that will pitch to the score. You know, they might let you, if you got a 4-run lead, they might let you get 3, but you're not getting that last one to tie that game. Jack Morris is one of the best ones I've ever seen do that.
It's a name I was going to throw out, and it's probably something that's hurting his Hall of Fame chances.
Might be 2. Barehanded by Infante. Sweet turn. And Ricky Nolasco is pitching to a 2-0 lead right now. And doing it well. Color. Astros tomorrow, end of first half. All-star break. Everybody can exhale. And it's on to Chicago for a 4-game series. That should be fun. Tomorrow it's Wandy Rodriguez against Chris Bolstad. We look forward to the upcoming schedule. You can live forward with Just for Men hair color. Now that's not Shirley Jones on the left, but that is David Cassidy on the right.
Now we're getting a little better. There you go.
Come on, get happy. Niner, you watched the Partridge Family growing up, right?
Absolutely.
There he is. First pitch.
Good arm.
Not too bad.
Actually met him at the doctor's office after I fell off my bike and broke my collarbone. He was in there getting his knee checked out.
Really?
Yeah.
Here's the other first pitch in Exmo.
This is the one I've been waiting for.
The first pitch?
Yeah.
Stuck the landing, little hip hop move, and then wait for it, handstand, wait for it, it's coming. Come on, throw the pitch now. You clown.
You see it coming. Here it comes.
There it is.
Folks, we wouldn't do this if Mike Stanton were hitting. Oh, and a strike, too.
Very impressive.
Meanwhile, back at the game, 0-2 to Nolasco. Breaking ball is in the dirt. Ricky Nolasco, his second AB. And then you got the top of the order around the bend, Emilio Bonifacio and Omar Infante in the bottom of the fifth. Halfway through, Marlins trying to make it 3 in a row against the Astros, 4 in a row overall, and 8 of their last 11 if they can win this game. But Brett Myers, give him credit, is hanging in there and pitching pretty well.
I'll tell you, for me, you talk about stats with pitchers. Niner was talking about ERA compared to wins. How about just keeping your team in a game and taking some innings? The stat that blew me away about Myers, in his 51 starts as a Houston Astro, he's gone 6 innings or more 48 times. And the 3 times that he didn't, he went 5 2/3.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, there's no more, there's not a person that would be more impressive than his manager, knowing that he's going to be giving the boys in the bullpen some rest every time he goes out to the mound.
0-1 pitch bounces in the dirt. Yeah, Brad Mills likes giving him the ball every 5 days. And the Astros very pleased that they signed him to a 3-year contract. Signed through next year.
And Brad Mills needs all the good news he can get.
Bonifacio cracks one into right field by the sliding Wallace. And Emilio is aboard for the second time tonight. It's going to be a base hit. So it extends his hitting streak to a career high 11 games.
Wallace about even with the bag, a step or 2 behind, and this ball shot by him in a hurry. Didn't get a glove on it. And Bonnie does get that streak, hitting .381, Rich, during that 11-game hitting streak.
All right, let's see if he's on the move here. He stole second back in the first. Infante at the plate. There's 1 out.
It's a big benefit to Bonifacio as well. When a first baseman, he's got to come up and be aware of the bunt. And if he's going to hit the ball hard on the ground, it's going to get past him a lot more easily than he would most other lefties when they play back.
That's a great point. And Tommy, as you pointed out, that the more Bonifacio does bunt and do it successfully, the more pressure he's going to put on the corner infielders.
They'll kind of stretch that defense a little bit. They'll come in more, so that'll open up the hole between second and right-handed. Will open up the hole between third and short.
And especially on this hard infield. Ball gets through in a hurry.
Yeah, this is always played, not so much after the U2 concert, but this is always played like a turf field. Like the old turf, not the new turf. The old turf where it was so fast that you knew that a ball in the gap here was going to get to the wall every time.
The Marlins feel that the grass they're going to use in the new ballpark, they will be able to get it longer and thicker in the infield. So it will change to some extent how the field plays down there from this field to that field.
same type in the outfield? They can be. Have they said if they're going to be short in the outfield like this?
I don't think as short as this. Pitch misses inside. It's 1-1.
Yeah, I get the feeling the goal will be to have it a little thicker.
I mean, as a hitter, and you probably would agree with this.
Yeah,
I mean,
want it short.
The thicker the grass, the slower the ball is going to travel. It's not going to go through the infield as well. And on the flip side, though, especially when you go to Chicago, the grass got so long there, if you got a ball through that infield, you were guaranteed an RBI because the ball would never get to the outfielder.
Well, if you're going to build your franchise around pitching and defense, and the Marlins made a decided effort in the offseason to go that way, Omar Infante is a big piece of that. The revamped bullpen is a big piece of that. Then it would be nice to have a field that plays to that strength of pitching and defense. But that's one of the intrigues about a new ballpark is you can make the dimensions and grow the grass, but until you bring people in and guys start hitting balls, you're not really sure how it's going to play.
Yeah, we talked about that with David Sampson. You don't know with the roof open or closed if it's going to be a ballpark that'll see the ball carry better when it's open. Just going to have to play games in it.
See, it's another, now that Bonifacio is running and running successfully, he's drawing a lot more attention from pitchers, which might be tiring to Bonifacio, but it's a good thing because it can be tiring. There he goes, hit and run, ground ball up the middle, off the glove of Barmes, and Infante is safe at first, and that's what speed will do for you.
Niner, you're going to agree with this. When the Marlins were going so poorly in June, you get the hit and run. Infante hits it there, shortstop covering. He makes that play, and it's a double play. But when things turn a little bit and the breaks start going your way, that ball is bobbled and everybody's safe.
Absolutely. Jason Michaels the other night, we saw him dive for 2 balls. Those balls are caught in June. In July, they happen to be missed, and the Marlins take advantage and score runs.
That's going to be ruled as an error on Barmes.
Yeah, fielder's choice, tough error, fielder's choice, and an error.
But like you said, the speed of Bonifacio dictated that play. Barmes wanted to get to that bag as quickly as he could because he kind of had his eyes on Bonnie, and I think that took his eyes off the ball enough to make him miss it.
Gabby Sanchez now with a nice opportunity, first and second. Brett Myers at 83 pitches. Tommy talked about that 6-inning barrier that he's been able to get over in just about all of his Houston Astros starts.
You would imagine that he would get there tonight,
barring a long inning here. 1-0. And Bonifacio dancing away from second, aware that this is a case where, yeah, you got the number 3 hitter at the plate, but if Bonifacio can steal third, that sets him up with a situation where a fly ball and it's a 3-0 game.
It also leaves it open for Myers to make a mistake if he pays too much attention to Bonifacio.
I think he brought up a good point about just Emilio stealing third base. We don't see it very often, and I think a lot of times you see base stealers kind of just shut it down when they get to second base. It is a shorter throw for the catcher to go to third. It's a tougher base to steal, but I think there's more technique when you're on second base to steal third, and he should work on that.
Tough right now with Keppinger, the second baseman, playing closely, so closely. Tough for Bonifacio to get much of a lead.
Three and one, and maybe Myers is a bit distracted. Remember, he hit Gabby back in the first. Gabby popped out in the third.
It's almost like Keppinger's holding him like a first baseman.
Yeah. Come here, pal. You're not going anywhere.
3-1 coming. Oh. Outside corner, apparently. On Fox Tracks. That's outside.
That is outside. How about 3-2-1 out? I think they might be going.
That's a good chance. Hanley waits. Let's see what Gabby gets. Runners go, and it's down low. Actually, one runner went. Bonifacio was running, but not Infante.
That's a good AB and a good take for a hitter. A lot of hitters see that runner going, and if it's close, they're going to go ahead and swing. But Gabby showed some good patience.
A little surprised that Infante wasn't running along with Bonifacio.
If you're a hitter, Niner, you look at the signs. You want to know if Bonifacio is going on that 3-2-1 out pitch, or do you care?
I always, on a 3-2, I always assumed that they were going to go. With 2 outs or 2 strikes, I really didn't like them to move around a whole lot because they are in your field of vision. They're jumping around a lot. I'd rather them be still. And if they had no intention of stealing the base, I want them to be quiet out there instead of back and forth.
Bags are loaded. Here's Hanley. And Myers pounds it inside and misses. It's 1-0.
An opportunity right here now for the Marlins to break things open here in the 5th inning.
Some good at bats by Gabby. He has loaded the bases. Hanley takes down low, and Myers is wobbling right now. And the Astros bullpen is up. Wilton Lopez, one of their more reliable middle relievers.
Hanley was obviously taking all the way. Tommy, you think he's going to swing 2-0?
It might have been a decoy. He wasn't going to take there. He was ready. He just didn't like the pitch.
Bonifacio singled. Infante hit the sharp grounder that was bobbled by Barmes. And then Gabby, a 3-2 pitch, took it for ball 4. 2-1 coming. Dips low. Now it's 3-1.
Very good patience by the Marlin hitters right here. Gabby Sanchez especially, like Tommy said, to take a pretty nasty changeup 3-2 shows a lot of good patience.
Jack McKeon said one of the best at bats he saw last night was Logan Morrison's walk. Hanley flips that one foul and into the seats. Remember, Morrison last night had a bases loaded walk. See, Jack was a Moneyball guy long before there was ever a book by Michael Lewis about Billy Beane and the Oakland Athletics. Jack was preaching that stuff back in the 60s and the 70s. Take the walk. Work the count. And how about a 7-player deal?
I remember teams in the minor leagues coming up. There at times were automatic 2-0, 3-1 takes. Always hated that. Got to the big leagues, you're a pinch hitter, and you had the 2-0 take.
Oof. That's rough. That's a rough pitch to have a take on right there.
Might be the only one you were going to get.
So it's 3-2. The bases are loaded. There's 1 out in the 5th. He stayed with a breaking ball, and it's still 3-2. Marlins have a couple of runs in this one. They got 1 in the 1st without a hit. A stolen base by Bonifacio helped. John Buck slugged his 100th career homer, a solo shot in the 2nd. Brett Myers stranded 2 in the 4th, but the Fish have loaded him up here in the 5th. Fastball inside. Myers cursing as he walks off the mound and now walks to the back of the mound. He is hot. He thought that was a strike. The Marlins have a run. Brad Mills isn't happy. Home plate umpire Jerry Mills replying that it was inside. Here's a look. And it is inside.
Well inside.
That's way inside. That's good at bat by Hanley. After seeing some breaking balls away, Myers tries to pound him inside, and Hanley takes it off the plate.
See, that's one of those pitches where when Jerry Mills gets his DVD and report on how he did, that one will show up as a great call.
Yes.
The same technology that goes into Fox tracks, umpires use to grade their effort behind home plate.
And when Brett Myers and Brad Mills see that call,
they will say, that Fox track stuff. Here's the 1-0.
That's faulty technology.
That stuff's not right.
It's 2-0.
Logan Morrison the other night took a pitch inside for what he felt was inside for strike 3, and Fox Tracks had it right on the inside corner. And he admitted it the next day that he argued and thought it was a ball, but after seeing the replay of the Fox track, that it was actually in the strike zone.
That's a great discussion, because I think it's a part of technology that can really help a hitter, a young hitter, especially in the case of Logan Morrison.
And it's come a long way since the early Quest-Tech days. That was the first attempt at capturing the strike zone with technology.
Yeah, the Quest-Tech, we always knew what the Quest-Tech parks were when we went in there.
Morrison takes a fastball down the middle.
The Marlins this year are 6th in the major leagues with the bases loaded, hitting .342 with 5 grand slams. 5 grand slams leads the major leagues.
Bags are loaded. Morrison, a 2-1 pitch. And he popped it foul and out of play. That was a great pitch to hit. And I think Lomo right now a little upset. He can get a better chunk of that.
You know, after the late 90s, when the Braves pitching staffs were famous for getting the outside corner and then the next 6 inches, and they were able to hit that a lot, and I think the strike zone started expanding. Well, when they brought in Quest-Tech, especially in an experimental basis, we all knew what parks at Quest-Tech in, because the strike zone got a lot tighter.
2-2. Morrison cranks it into right center field. That ball's going to the wall. Scoring is Infante. Scoring is Gabby. Here comes Hanley. He will score. Lomo with a triple.
I know, Rich, the salute comes after the home run, but I think it certainly could come after this bases clearing triple. That's a good AB, a great swing. Lomo with a double and a triple in this one, but this triple clears the bases and really puts things away, and is going to put Myers out of the game.
Boy, what a beautiful head down, easy swing that was.
And Morrison, just like he dug out that double, was thinking 3 bases all the way. Brett Myers on his way to the dugout. 6-0 Fish over the Astros. Here's a Marooney called to the pen.
When you need a car, truck or van, who you gonna call?
Mike Stanton gets jammed, pops it up, Wallace over, and it's out of play. Logan Morrison with a bases clearing triple that knocks in 3. Wilton Lopez has come out of the bullpen. The Astros with a double switch as well. Angel Sanchez is now at shortstop, and there are Lopez numbers. Stanton, a sharp ground ball. Morrison has to hold his ground, and Johnson throws him out.
Well, and how about Brett Myers, one of the few times not going 6 innings or more?
Mike Cameron coming up. Full season ticket plans at the New Marlins ballpark available now. The Diamond Club is already sold out, and several other premium areas are close to capacity. So secure your seats today. Just call the New Marlins ballpark sales headquarters, 1-877-411-2012, or go to marlins.com/new ballpark. Cameron 0 for 2. He's lined out and struck out. Mike hits a grounder on the third baseline. It's a fair ball, and a throw over to first, and Cameron is out. Cameron thought it was a foul ball. As it turns out, inning over. But what an inning it was. 4 more on the board.
And we had Cirque Dreams here doing the countdown for us, bringing the number down from 33 to 32. But prior to that, showing some of their acrobatics, Zach and Christian. Jill Winters is the director of tonight's show, and also sang a terrific anthem. But talk a little bit about the excitement of being here tonight and these acrobatic talents you brought with you.
Yeah, we're having a blast here. This is super fun. We have a chair stacker later. We have our lovely power skippers. We have jump ropers. We have statue act where 2 guys paint themselves gold and they stand on each other's heads. It's crazy.
Cirque Dreams is also a Florida company. They're based in Pompano. They have a big holiday show coming to Fort Lauderdale this year.
We do. It's coming to the Broward Center in December. It's called Cirque Dreams Holidays. Don't miss it.
Let me ask these guys, what is it that's neat about being in a production like this?
Just the energy that you feel from the crowd. It's amazing. You can't get it anywhere else.
You guys came out firing here with those moves.
Yeah, well, you know, we do the best we can, but what's important is that we have a good time, so it makes it easy to do it every single time.
All right, we look forward to watching your show after. Nice job, Zach, Christian, Jill Winters from Cirque Dreams performing here on this Super Saturday after the game tonight. Back upstairs to you.
That'll be a fun show to watch. Angel Sanchez leading it off for the Astros in the 6th. We've seen 1 starter exit, Brett Myers. Ricky Nolasco has been clicking all night. The Astros have just 3 hits in the ball game. Nolasco has punched out 5, and he's walked no one. And Nolasco has his 6th strikeout.
Boy, getting ahead all night. Every time he's gotten ahead, he's been able to put away a hitter with a good breaking ball.
Michael Bourne now, top of the order. Then you've got Jeff Keppinger. The Marlins trying to right the ship, get some momentum going into the second half, and it seems like they're on their way. That's going to be a tough play with Michael Bourne up the line. That's going to be a base hit. Ricky would have had to do a Cirque Dreams Matrix type maneuver to get Bourne.
He was looking for the shovel pass here to Gabby, trying to get his glove on it and just throw it up there as best he could, because that was his only chance, and he missed it.
You could see Gabby during that play trying to figure out
where to go.
Should I stay or should I go?
Yeah, that was a good song, too. 8th bunt hit for Michael Bourne.
I know sometimes the first baseman, the second baseman will work it out that the second baseman will actually cover first on that if he decides to pull it with him. I would come in and with Brian Roberts in Baltimore, and I said, you got the bag and I'll go get the ball.
That's got it. You have to have a very athletic second baseman. Brian Roberts was to accomplish that, though, right?
Absolutely, and he would cheat a little bit, and as soon as he saw that bat get in the bunting position, he would take off, and I would cover the area that he vacated as well in case it got by the pitcher.
Good to have communication with your second baseman. As a first baseman, you like to know if the guy's throwing a changeup, big left-handed pull hitter up there.
I was telling my son Griffin that the other day, that there's a lot of stuff that goes on in a baseball field that most people don't know about, and that's one of them right there. That a good second baseman that can see the signs from the catcher, a first baseman cannot. He will make a little sound or say your name or something when a breaking ball or a changeup was coming.
Of course, there are some base coaches who can pick up on that, and I've heard hitters having coaches pick up on that and relay that to hitters. So
that's why you don't want to give that sign too soon.
Right.
Too soon, yeah. It was a
last second.
Usually it was just a kind of a sound that you could hear, but very discreetly right before the pitch was thrown.
Bourne now at second. There's one out. Here's the 2-1. In the air, and Bonifacio makes the catch. 2 outs Tuesday. Don't miss the world premiere. Big preview of X Factor. Yeah, Simon Cowell won't be playing in the All-Star game, but on the All-Star game you can catch the premiere of X Factor Tuesday night only on Fox, and you'll see Hunter Pence there
on the X Factor
at the All-Star game, where you'll see the preview of the X Factor. Anybody drop out today?
Yeah, Chipper Jones placed on the disabled list. His knee had a little surgery already.
Arthroscopic. Remember, Ken Rosenthal told us that the other day.
Yeah,
that Chipper was mulling over when to have it done.
I have mixed feelings with the Jeter and Mariano Rivera thing. I mean, I love Derek Jeter. I think he has represented this game, as Niner said, as well as anybody. But he played today and he had 5 hits, and Rivera got the save. But neither are going to the All-Star game.
Do you think in that case the player should, Jeter does have a sore calf, he'd like to have a few days off, at least go to the game and participate in the ceremonies and such? Or?
I would hope so, and I don't know if they are. I don't know.
From what I read and what it sounded like, they were not planning on doing that, and then you just go to think, well, they just would like the 3 days off.
One coming. Hunter Pence, who didn't like that earlier strike call, really cut loose on that one.
Niner, who do you like? We were talking about this the other night. Who do you like in the home run contest for the National League? You got Holiday, Weeks, Kemp, and Prince Fielder.
You like to win it out of that group?
Yeah.
You cannot bet against Prince Fielder. I think he's my pick for sure.
Okay. Who'd you go with, Rick? I went with Kemp.
Here's the 1-2. Into center. Cameron comes on, and Mike is there and makes the catch. I'm going Prince Fielder. Unless Ricky Nolasco's pitching. Then I don't know if anyone's going to hit one. Because Rick 6-0, Marlins on top of the Houston Astros. Ken Mason is the leader of the world's most dangerous tape room tonight. Bring you that recap. Set to music. In there you saw some history for John Buck, his 100th career home run. Buck a solo shot back in the second. Wilton Lopez into his second inning, and Buck took a crack at number 101 there. It's 0-1. I told you this was coming, Tommy Hutt.
Yeah, you and I were talking about this before the game.
Brian Braun will be replaced in the All-Star game with Andrew McCutchen of the Pirates. So McCutchen makes the team. He's a Florida guy. Congratulations to Andrew McCutchen.
Well deserving.
And I think there's a chance with a couple of starters that'll be pitching Sunday that won't be able to pitch in the All-Star game. There's an outside chance that Kevin Correa, also of the Pirates, who, by the way, the Pirates for the first time in 19 years are going to be over 500 at the All-Star break.
Doug Melvin, the general manager of the Brewers, had a discussion with Braun and the trainer. Braun is nursing a strained left calf. Braun disappointed he had to pull out after being the National League's top vote getter, but he didn't want to aggravate the injury. Melvin says Braun will go to the All-Star festivities, but would have been required to play 3 innings instead of taking a bench role to stay on the team. So thus he's not on the team, but he will go and take part in the festivities. Let's see if John Buck can beat this out. He will! Well, he has 100 home runs. I'll venture to say he doesn't have 100 infield hits.
Well, that's a safe bet right there. You love to see big guys get these kinds of hits because they don't get them that often. And as he's going up the line, he's thinking about all the line drives he hit it, guys.
Yeah, and they all even out, right, Tommy?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
I'm telling you, hitters.
Yeah, it was a funny story when we went overseas and we were at Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany. We had a question and answer session. John Buck, myself, Logan Morrison, and Andre Dawson. And the question of career homers came up, and it was a pretty funny. Little 5th grader comes up and says, "How many home runs have you guys hit?" You know, and we let Hawk go first, obviously, because he said 448, and the whole crowd, ooh, ah. And then I said 215, and they're like, "Oh, that's all right." And John Buck said, "Yeah, I got 90."
That's a fair ball out there. Nolasco is going to be out there, and the Marlins bunt into a double play.
And then Logan Morrison added 2. He had 2 career homers at the time.
That's right. I remember
the entire gym erupted in laughter.
And I guarantee he hated when they ever asked that question.
Yeah. We egged him on the rest of the trip for that. Ask us how many homers we hit.
263, I think, on that double play.
You are correct, Rich Waltz.
Nice play by Humberto Quintero. Nice night by Emilio Bonifacio. Been on base 2 or 3 times. Walked, stole a base, and scored in the first. Singled and scored in the 5th. An 11-game hit streak is now a career high. And a father as well. Congratulations to the Bonifacio family.
He even has more to smile about now.
Emil is his son's name. At 1:57 this afternoon. Amazing. Bonifacio, his son, 8 pounds, 8 ounces, 19.5 inches in length.
It's a big kid.
Yes. Carolines, his wife. Hope that you're doing well. And congratulations. Bonifacio flips it to left. Carlos Lee comes charging in. Makes the catch. Yeah, I know. Football lights. 32 more nights of those football lights, El Caballo.
Marlins Baseball está disponible en español vía Zap y es presentado por KFC.
Youngsters got the caps, the gloves, and we've got Cookie and Raul. Hi, guys.
Hey, Richie, Tommy, how are you guys?
Hey, Cookie, Raul, what did I say to you guys when you left the booth today? That it'd be nice to say hi to you with a lead.
Yes.
Yes, you did.
Thank you very much, Tommy. That was
nothing.
Cold out every day, will you please?
Okay, and we have Niner with us, too.
Hey.
Hi, Cookie. Hi, Raul.
Hey, Niner, how you doing?
All
Good.
right, man. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great.
All right. What do you think about this ball game?
I love it.
That's the way to do it, isn't it?
This is the way to do it.
Well,
nice and easy. Just enjoy it.
You know, when you talk to the kids and all the time, you tell them, say, those guys are standing in that position for 100 years. You got to hit them in between. And that's exactly what Morrison did.
Exactly.
Perfect. Just perfect.
And it's nice to see that the Marlins are no longer wasting good starting pitching, because in the month of June, the Marlins were getting some good starting pitching. Javi Vasquez, Ricky Nolasco, a few Volstad starts.
And also, it's good to see that they don't have to require a one-run game. Here, 6-0, at least a little more breathing room, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Even Anibal Sanchez had some good starts in that rough stretch.
It sure has. I mean, you know, his record really doesn't show the kind of games that he had left and, you know, lost some during the season because of the bullpen. But he's 6-2 and he's pitching very well. His velocity is the one that has been amazing this year, 92, 93 miles an hour. All his 4 pitches, the changeup and the slider working pretty well. That is great to see.
And Nolasco seems to be on a roll right now. All right, guys, have a good show.
All right.
You too, guys.
Take care, Jeff.
Bye.
Brett Wallace. He pulls one. Wicked hot. Gabby on it. Ricky over. And just like that, the Marlins have a couple outs here in the 7th inning.
Good job on both ends. Gabby to stay in front of that ball is hit sharply by Wallace. And sometimes a pitcher sees the ball hit that hard. If it's fielded cleanly, Gabby is able to take this himself. But because there was a little bobble, Ricky had to get there, and he got there in plenty of time.
That is a luxury at first base that we had playing the position. Is you block that ball, you get in front of it wherever you can, you still have time to throw that runner out, where if that happens at shortstop or deep in the hole at third, you've got no chance.
Chris Johnson's 1 for 2, and he fouls it off.
Ricky's done a great job, too, tonight in his efficiency. 80 pitches. Going strong. And as Cookie mentioned, all 4 pitches working for him tonight.
Of course, 2 starts ago, the shutout, the complete game in Oakland. That's by a diving Bonifacio. Johnson with a 2-out single.
You think about the game that he had, the complete game in Oakland. It was his 5th career complete game. And not to tout the division-leading Phillies too much, but either that night or very soon thereafter, Roy Halladay threw his 5th complete game of the season.
Yeah, that's a luxury to run out those guys night in and night out. Atlanta evened that series at a game apiece with a Brian McCann homer in extra innings. Last night it was Raul Ibanez who won it for the Phillies. Long run, and neither Morrison nor Cameron are going to get there. It gets to the wall. Johnson around third, coming to the plate, and he will score.
Now the pinch hitter, Brian Bogusevic, gets after that first pitch and bags his first double of the year out there. So 2-out rally, a base hit by Johnson.
Changeup, actually an excellent pitch.
Not a bad pitch.
Down and away out of the strike zone. What a good piece of hitting that was.
That is, because you don't think a pinch hitter is going up looking for a changeup, let alone a really good changeup. And he still hit it well.
Now Humberto Quintero with 2 outs. Mets beat the Giants last night in San Francisco, and they're just underway. Carlos Beltran had a nice night last night. He's doubled in the 1st inning. It's scoreless in the top of the 1st.
I think R.A. Dickey got a no decision, but he pitched well in that game last night.
That one fouled into the seats and out of play.
They put the loss on the bearded one. Fear the beard. Brian Wilson took the loss in that one.
He's been mortal this year. Of course, as we told you, the Dodgers did not have a hit until the bottom of the 9th inning. 5 San Diego pitchers combining on that. The problem was the Padres had just 1 hit and didn't have a run, and the Dodgers got a hit and walked off in the 9th. As Tommy pointed out, it was Deoner Navarro that got the hit off of Luke Gregerson. The Padres have never had a no-hitter. They're one of the teams that have never had a no-hitter in their 43-year history. The Mets, another team that has not had a no-hitter. I think the Mets are, what, 32 one-hitters or some ridiculous number? Bonifacio across the diamond in time. And he gets Quintero. Astros are on the board, but Ricky's still in charge.
Very simple. We'll just go this way. A little Ricky. Fastball. Slider. Another slider. Ricky has been on the top of his game. Got some help. John Buck, career home run number 100. That made it 2-0 and an even 100 for JB. How about opening things up in the 5th inning with the bases loaded? Logan Morrison, who had already doubled in this one, triples in the gap, clears the bases. And right now the Marlins hold a 6-1 lead.
Astros go with Enerio del Rosario. Omar Infante, Gabby Sanchez, Hanley Ramirez coming up. Marlins trying to get win number 42 in the books in game number 90. With the series finale and the first half finale tomorrow. It's a Chris Bolstad start for the Fish. Wandy Rodriguez, a lefty, and a good one, goes for the Astros.
This guy has to have a nickname to his teammates.
Del Rosario throws a strike and it's 0-1.
And Marlins looking for their first 4-game winning streak since April.
That's incredible. You go back to April 19th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. And then with their records in April and May, I thought, like you did, I thought, well, they had to have a 6-7 game winning streak. 4-game winning streak is the most they've had this year.
Infante lines it to center, and Bourne. Ball, you see him saying that ball kind of knuckled on him.
Yeah, he said that ball was knuckled him.
That's a tough one. I have no idea what causes that. But
I think center field is the only field that a ball will knuckle, because it's coming in straight, it goes out straight. That's probably the only spot that will take the spin off of it enough to knuckle like that.
Because if you
never
hook
see
it,
that.
hook it or slice it, it's not going to knuckle.
Exactly. You never saw that, a knuckleball in left field.
Chopper over the middle. That's going to settle into center field. So if we're getting into physics then, that means a hitter has hit the ball so hard that he's taken the spin off it. It doesn't have backspin. It doesn't have topspin.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It actually goes with a lot less spin than anything usually goes with it into the outfield.
Or maybe not hard, just he caught it so perfectly on the bat that it stopped the rotation from the fastball and threw it out there as a knuckleball.
Gabby Sanchez, by the way, has been on base 3 times tonight. Hit by a pitch, a walk, and a single right there.
Hanley is 0 for 2, and he's driven in 2 runs. Bases loaded walk, and the ground ball out back in the first. Marlins in Chicago, opening up Thursday night, a 4-game series. And then a special limited engagement in New York on the Monday night.
Quick engagement. Yeah, we have what do we have? A Thursday night game in Chicago, and then 3 day games at Wrigley.
That's going to be fun.
Gotta love that.
Yes.
There's some good eating in Chicago.
Already have a few reservations put in. You have to plan ahead because it is a busy weekend.
It is.
Let me guess, Tommy Hutton. Is there a Carmine's involved?
There's a wonderful place right down the street, Rush Street, down the street from excellent steakhouse, Gibson's.
How about the guy with the big glasses?
Harry Carey's, you can't go wrong. The food is terrific.
Here's the 3-1. High fly ball. Carlos Lee.
Never had a bad meal at Gibson's.
Oh, no.
I enjoy that place
no.
a lot.
And you have to plan. It's a nice place to plan because it's close to the hotel. You can walk. And then you'd have to walk about 15 miles to walk it off after the building.
Logan Morrison has padded his RBI totals with 3 with a 3-run triple. He's also doubled.
Beautiful Drake Hotel right there on the lake shore.
That is one of the coolest hotels in all of baseball.
I never got to stay there. We were always at the Westin.
That's right up the block.
Right next door. I mean,
yep.
Literally,
right
look
around,
out the back entrance of the Westin, there's the Drake.
A lot of great history. I think there might be some Al Capone pictures.
There are downstairs.
In there.
And also a wonderful restaurant there, the Cape Cod Room at the Drake Hotel.
Lomo pops it up, fouling out of play. In fact, the Fox Sports Florida Ford Fantasy Auction trip this year is...
We're going to have some folks there.
Yeah, we are. We're going to have 4 people who will be with us. Here's where I'm jealous for those people. Friday afternoon, they get to sit in the Cubs-owned rooftop seats.
Wow.
Beyond right field. And it wasn't until I arranged the whole thing for them that I realized you get all you can eat and all you can drink, and it's not ballpark fare. It's like fancy stuff.
Wow.
Because the Cubs actually bought that building, so they own like all 3 floors and the seats on the rooftop. So you can go down into any of the 3 levels in a luxury suite type setting where they have all the nice food.
And so you're not talking just hot dogs and nachos.
No. They also are going to get a tour of Wrigley. They're going to get batting practice passes, go around the field, watch batting practice. They'll get tickets to the other 3 games. I think Craig is taking them out for deep dish pizza. And Harry Carey's was nice enough to give them all a dinner.
Wow.
Morrison rolls it up the middle into center field. His 3rd hit of the night. Gabby's going to take 3rd. And they're staying at the Drake Hotel, too.
think whatever that went for didn't go for enough. That's a heck of a package.
We actually doubled it, and there were 2 winners, so 4 people are going.
What a nice night for Logan Morrison, his 3rd base hit. Hey, a single, a double, a triple.
I love this base running by Gabby Sanchez. He's seen it on the opposite side of the center field there. I'm going to take that base. Michael Bourne would have to make an unbelievable play to try to get a throw off. You know, even late in the game, you say, oh, we got a 5-run lead. Let's just stay at second base for a runner in scoring position. But this is an add-on run that would be very important.
That is a great point, because it'd be very easy for a lot of runners just to go first to second on that base hit.
Yep.
The old station to station.
And it sets up the next hitter for a possible sac fly for an easy RBI. Oh, I'm sorry, there's 2 outs, so it would not be an RBI.
Stanton takes a fastball in. Saw Dwayne Wise come in. He's pinch running for Morrison. Jack now has some depth on his bench where he can bring Wise in a situation like this. Number 1, to run, and as well stay in the ball game defensively. Be interesting to see if Wise plays left or Cameron plays left.
I'm going to say the 5-time Gold Glover is going to stay out there in center field.
Cameron has played the corner outfield spots. Remember when he was in New York, Carlos Beltran was in center. That's where he had that horrific collision in San Diego when he and Beltran collided in right center.
Had that move the other night, by the way, and Wise did go to left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I had to look. I didn't remember either.
And I don't think this move is any slight on Logan's defense. I think Jack would like to get Wise into games more often, keep him sharp, keep his legs underneath him, and this is a good opportunity to do that.
2-2. Stanton, hard smash. Johnson sets himself and guns it across in time. Marlins get a couple of hits, but they can't score a run here in this inning. Fish with a 6-1 lead going to the 8th. O'clock, the brand new Duffy Sports Grill, North Miami Beach. Billy and the Mermaids will be there. Win tickets, autograph items, enjoy great food and drink specials at the new Duffy Sports Grill. Rich Waltz, Jeff Conine, and Tommy Hutton. Offense has been here again, guys, and Ricky Nolasco has been splendid tonight.
Dominating, you know, building off that start that he had last game, and the complete game recently. He's dominating once again tonight with very efficient 86 pitches as well.
Well, Ricky is one of those guys that he gets to the 6th or 7th inning, and he can smell a complete game.
Yeah, and I think the early offense, the run in the 1st inning, Buck's home run in the 2nd, and then the 4 runs in the 5th, that gets things going. And you're right, Ricky can really smell things. You know how Mike Lowell had that great line about Gabby Sanchez.
Angel Sanchez out to Infante.
Being able to smell those RBIs, Ricky can smell that complete game. 10th 0-2 pitch this game. That's why he's had success.
So a 6-1 lead here in the 8th. Michael Bourne comes up. Jeff Keppinger will follow. The bullpen active. Edward Mujica is up. Doesn't look to be in any hurry to get loose.
What this does too, Rich, let's see, we're Saturday. This sets things up for Jack to really put together his starting rotation the second half of the season in that series in Chicago. And I would guess Anibal Sanchez would open things up Thursday, and Ricky could pitch Friday.
Javi Vasquez has pitched so well, you'd probably slot him in the 3 spot.
Yeah.
The question is going to be, who's going to pitch the game in New York? Will it be Brad Hand, who could come back up from the minors to do it?
And I believe is scheduled to pitch on Tuesday, so he'll have a start to get some innings in the minor leagues.
Or will Clay Hensley be ready by then? And at what point do the Marlins bring Clay Hensley up and give him a shot in the rotation? 3-1 pitch is high. What team was it that is suddenly going with a 6-man rotation?
I think it's with the Red Sox for a while. Weren't they going with a 6-man rotation? Maybe not now. They've had a couple guys go down. But you're right. Somebody was doing it or trying it. First walk of the game for Ricky.
Ricky doesn't give those up very easily.
Was it Milwaukee?
Not sure.
I hate those questions when none of us have the answer.
Yeah, that's a. See,
we're all looking around here waiting for somebody to save us. Can anybody help us out here with the 6-man rotation?
I think it's the Kansas City Royals that are flirting with it. Hanley to his right, out there. Infante's turn, gorgeous. And Ricky rolls a double play. He can smell that complete game. Through 8, 6-1. Ricky like a fighter in the corner, and Ricky's going to come out for the 15th round.
And he didn't have to say, cut me, Mick, cut me, Mick.
6-1, Marlins on top of the Houston Astros. All right, the poll question, most improved Marlin this season, Emilio Bonifacio in a runaway.
That is a good answer, too.
Tickets of America every night brings you our poll question.
Hey, the other thing to remember in watching Ricky get attended to on the bench, Anuary Rodriguez comes in to pitch. It's hot down there. And here we are in South Florida. The heat has kicked in. You see it affect, I think, other teams. And Ricky's hanging in there and has one more inning to go for a complete game.
And that towel that he put on there is ice cold, and it's got ammonia in it, so it kind of clears your sinuses a little bit, cools your head down.
That's old school, too.
That's old school. And you know what? When you're wearing head-to-toe polyester in an environment like this, you've lost a lot of water by the end of this game.
Can you imagine what it was like playing in the wool uniforms? Now, Tommy,
the minor leagues,
60s,
yeah,
in
60s,
the minors,
coming up in the minor leagues, sure.
We had a throwback uniform day in Baltimore, and we had to wear head-to-toe wool, and that was one of the worst experiences of my life.
And it probably was one of those like awful humid days.
Oh, yes, it was brutal.
Here's the 2-1. Mike Cameron got it off the end of the bat. You can see the swing is starting to come back little by little for Cameron.
A little bit out in front of that one right there. You heard as soon as he made contact, he kind of said, like just missed it.
John Buck homered in the second. That was an infield single as well. The home run, his 100th career homer.
You know, I think a lot of people have been really focusing on John Buck's average, especially after coming off a career high 281 last year with 20 home runs. He's going to end up by the end of the season with his 20 homers and probably 65 to 70 RBIs. And although the average may not be where he wanted it to be, it's going to be a pretty solid season.
Good production for a catcher.
Yes.
Oh, hey. See, now that. There you go.
A true professional right there.
Now we've seen the
nothing like washing down a banana.
We've seen the person with the Chewbacca suit. I wonder if that's either the same person or with a new costume or a competitor.
Well, maybe the Chewy costumes in the cleaners.
Yeah.
Ricky may not put a lot into this at bat, by the way.
We were talking about sitting in this type of weather or playing in this type of weather in wool uniforms. A gorilla suit can't be much much fun either.
I hope you're enjoying your TV time.
Apparently enjoying a cold beer. Here's the 2-1. There was a day when broadcasters could enjoy a cold beer. Many press boxes long ago had a nice supply of beer.
You know, we had a few games in June. That might not have been a bad idea.
That's Harry Carey type stuff. We'll see his statue when we get to Wrigley on Thursday. All right, Jeff Conine, thanks for the visit. We'll see you on the postgame show.
All right, indeed, fellas. It was fun.
Get to makeup. Get to makeup.
arrives. Ricky Nolasco is still standing. Our Toyota Trends. The Marlins have won 10 of the last 12 home games versus Houston and have outscored the Astros as well. If they win tonight, they will have won the first 3 games of a 4-game series, which concludes tomorrow. We invite you to join us for Marlins Live tomorrow at 12:30.
And a good matchup. It'll be the left-hander, Wandy Rodriguez, against Chris Volstad. And if you throw away the Chris Volstad start against the Philadelphia Phillies, Chris has been solid over the last 3 or 4 starts.
The fans right now, Ricky Nolasco, the music is still playing here at the ballpark. I don't think they can turn the music off. Even the fans have turned around and said, hey, cut the music out. Even Hunter Pence is saying, yeah.
Pence said, that's not my song either.
That's not even my walk-up song. When Nolasco goes to work on Pence, boy, if looks could kill. I mean, Ricky had a look on his face like, hey, I'm trying to get a complete game out here. Shut that stuff off.
He might have used a little more colorful language, too.
Nolasco with a breaking ball that misses outside. You got Pence, Lee, and Wallace. Probably the 3 best hitters that the Astros have. So for Ricky to get through this, it isn't going to be easy. Pence was out in front. Bonifacio feeling for the tarp, makes the catch.
Boy, the off-speed pitch has been there all night for him. Not sure if that was the changeup. I think it was. Might have been the curveball, though. But either way, he had Pence well out in front. It's a changeup. Excellent changeup. It's a pitch that he has felt more confident throwing against right-handed hitters. And got a good right-handed hitter there.
There's another pop-up. And Gabby runs out of room. It's about 6 rows in. Well, remember when Nolasco shut out Oakland, it was his 2nd career shutout, his 5th career complete game. That was 2 starts ago. And here he is, a couple outs away from finishing off the Astros. He's at 99 pitches. El Caballo hits a big drive to left field. Wise looking up, plays it off the wall.
I think El Caballo thought it was in the Crawford boxes.
It would have been.
It would have been in Houston.
Carlos Lee has his 24th double of the season.
Boy, when you think about it, a little flat slider, one of the few tonight. The outings, the last 3 outings now for Ricky Nolasco. El Caballo is peaking there. You had the complete game in Oakland, and then you had the 1-0 loss to the Phillies. And Ricky went 7 innings, gave up just the 1 run in that ball game.
And we showed you his last 3 starts. Coming into tonight, his ERA was under 2. 101. And a great ball strike ratio. 28-year-old out of Rialto High School. Brett Wallace, good solid left-handed bat, and he takes a strike.
Still a good fastball. That last one, 90.
Oh, and 2. Ricky ready. Got him. Jammed him with a fastball. 8 strikeouts for Nolasco.
How about 11 times tonight Ricky has had an 0-2 pitch. 10 of those times he's put the hitter away. The only 0-2 base hit was that pinch hit by Bogusevic.
Here now is Chris Johnson. And Nolasco almost hit him. Johnson has a couple of hits and was called out on strikes in the 5th inning. Nolasco looking for his 6th career complete game. Trying to beat the Astros for the 2nd time this year. Trying to run the Marlins win streak to 4.
Yeah, his start in Houston, 8 innings. Gave up 8 hits, just 2 runs. That was a close ball game. The Marlins won that game 4-3.
And that was one of those ball games that you talked about where, and even Jeff Conine mentioned it, where Ricky is very good at managing a game, hanging in there long enough. That was a game that was a tight one. He hung in there, had the lead, kept the lead. Left with a 2-run lead. Leo Nunez gave up a 9th inning home run to Brett Wallace. That brought it to within 1. There's a soft ground ball. Infante, a short hop throw, and Ricky Nolasco goes the distance. The Marlins have won 4 in a row, and all of a sudden, that good feeling is back with this ball club. The Marlins have won 8 of their last 11. And for Nolasco, he just keeps rolling. His last 4 starts, his ERA under 2. He gets win number 6 on the season. 6-1.